Welcome to Norwegian Modeling Bench. This is Kenneth, and this is the 22nd installment on the CV-6 build series. In this video, I am working on the bolts or tenders that is provided from KA, and I will show you some of the steps that I took and the results. So I hope that you enjoy this one as well. If you like, please click the like button. Provide comments if you like, and if you don't subscribe to the channel, please do. I do appreciate that. Right, so time to think about the boats that are going in on the ship. The Pontos kit or set doesn't provide you with any boats. And I guess that's due to the fact that you can't really see any bolts on any of the historical pictures from the time period that Pontos is depicting. But at the same time, I think it adds a bit of an interest. I'm not sure if I'm going to add all the boats because I don't want to obstruct the entire view inside the hangar deck. So that is something you also probably need to keep in mind. If you're placing it like this, it will definitely obstruct the entire view inside. So, and this is the starboard side, and I am going to probably place the ship where you can look at the port side. I think that, of course, has the best view in terms of the detailing going on that side, and of course also that you don't have the island in the way. So I'm thinking I will add a ship in, a boat in the opening on this side, and only keep the cradle on this side, because here you have the capstans, bollards that are installed from the Pontos. So the boat won't really fit in. On the port side, you have 3 bolts that are going in. You also have this rig where the boat was lifted off. The other boats were lifted off with the crane, I guess. So it's kind of a Davit. So my plan is, but I will take a look at which doors I will have open on the port side, so I don't obstruct the view inside the hangar. But when looking at what we have to work with, this is what Trumpeter provides us with. I don't know what the designer was thinking here. Just look at this. This is really, really bad. Of course, I haven't done a lot of effort of gluing this perfectly together and filling lines or so on, just to show you how it looks. And KA provides us with this, which is 100% better, or more than that, where you have a resin boat with a lot of nice details. Of course, I haven't removed the parts from the mold, so I need to do that, of course. And you get the 50 feet boats. You also have the 41, and finally the 35 feet boat, which all look very good. This is not a rudder. This is a part from the resin molding process. And then I have the row cutter on the backside, which I mentioned earlier on when talking about the stern details. I wanted to add as well, and I'm going to use the kit parts, the Trumpeter parts, with some of the photo etch from KA. The rudder is in place, the propeller is in place, so actually this looks rather nice. Of course have to do a bit of sanding and removing of tags and so on. And then for the other boats, you also have different photo etch parts that will be added. And then you have the cradles that you can build to get the proper fit on the boat, on the ship, sorry. So that will be the thing for this installment, looking at how we can build these boats, get them painted up. Of course, the paint scheme isn't super interesting. It is the anti-fouling is the navy blue, and I'm thinking I want to have a wooden deck color on the deck, just to give a bit more of an interest when looking at the model. I'm not sure, when I've looked at historical images, it looks like the decks were in a wooden color. Might have been in deck blue, but as I said, I want to create some interest in some color variations. Otherwise, it's going to be quite not that interesting. So, moving ahead with that. It all starts out with adding the resin propeller or screw to the hull of the boat, and then the rudder. So, of course, using regular CA to attach them. There are some options, of course, where you could use PE, that is brass color, but I thought that the resin looked nice, so painting them afterwards in a brass or gold color, that panned out well, I think. Then was adding those vents to the boat, and also the side where you have the entrance to the cockpit in the boat. Please make sure that you remove some of the part for the gear brake, or there is a little circle in the floor where you need to make a little notch, because otherwise the PE won't go down as it should. Then there was the cradles. Just a really simple job. Pay attention to the sequence of those supports within the cradle, because they match up with the shape of the hull. Otherwise, of course, it's a bit tedious when adding these supports to the beam, the cross beam that goes. You have two cross beams that go on, which are quite flimsy, I would say, and there is a small notch within that beam where you need to add that support within. See, I've used a reverse tweezer to give me a starting point, at least to get it perpendicular to the floor. Otherwise, use the cutting mat as a good guide. There isn't a lot of attachment points when adding these later. You can see those small tags beneath the beam, and those are the only connection points you have later on. So that's something to be a bit aware of, and of course be patient when you install the boats on the ship. As you will see later on, I also had to to do some changes in terms of my plan because of the room that is available on the ship when you have also added the Pontos details. And then you have this davit or boom that is supposed to be used for the 35 feet boat, which I think is a nice addition to the model itself, but it is too narrow for the 35 feet. It's nearly impossible to get it placed within the boat within those beams or the vertical beams in the davit. So I elected to make a different position but keep the davit on board, as you can see later on. Otherwise, there are some tiny details depicting the crane or the hook and then the wiring and so on, which is gives a good detail to the davit. So yeah, regular PE work here going on, positioning those support brackets that goes on top, and then just placing the beam upside down and positioning those on that beam. A bit fiddly to get it to stick properly, but otherwise not a big deal. This will be painted up with a navy blue color and then weathered as well. And well, all in all, it gives a good impression, as you can see later on how it appears on the ship itself. So this is the end result with the cradles behind there. So I've not assembled all the cradles, but just for the ones that are going to be placed. So, not showing all the painting work, navy blue, then the anti-fouling red color on the hull, and then masking up so I could paint the wooden deck, or the wooden deck color at least, and then paint brushing the white parts, the canvas parts, and then adding all of those PE details, which I also pre-painted before bending and adding to the models. Not really much to show there. It's a lot of tiny PE parts going on before you have the final result. Of course, I noticed that those things sticking up there, they wouldn't fit on the ship itself, but that's another thing. So here we have the end result with all the PE parts assembled before the weathering, which is more the same operation that I've done before. So here is one of the 50 feet, which we will place on the sea base, the row cutter on the stern, which I think looks quite nice with the brass detail and the color. So it's not just monochrome, the monochrome blue color. And then we have the 50 feeder. I know it's placed in the wrong way, but it wouldn't fit otherwise. And well, I wanted it to be in that place. And then you have the 35 feet and the davit on the port side. So that's it for today. I hope that you liked this one. So until next time, keep safe.